We're back at it again for a district breakdown. We're talking 21-6A with John Poorman from the Houston Chronicle. It's the Fort Bend district, and we all know what happens in the Fort Bend district. Ridge Point walks away with another banner to hang up in their gym or on their football field. Is that going to happen again for them, or who do you see challenging them?
Well, Ridge Point certainly has to be the favorites. Again, I mean, they've proven it year after year, winning district championships. That has not changed since Coach Rick LaFavors has taken over that program. Just a sustained success ever since the school opened, really. They got to be the favorites once again because they have, perhaps the best player in the district coming back, and that's going to be uh, senior quarterback Austin Carlisle. Just a tremendous dual threat athlete. Passed for over 3,000 yards and 34 touchdowns last year. Also got it done with his legs, rushing for over 500 yards. And 10 touchdowns as well there. And just a dynamic playmaker who could spread the ball around. Obviously, they lose some key pieces like Ashton Bethel Roman and Mason Dossett, but they got a guy coming back, a receiver named Dane Jones, who's one of the top 50 recruits in the Houston area. He's a dynamic receiver as well, and led the team with 13 touchdown catches last season. So yeah, I mean, you look top to bottom, within this program, they always have guys on both sides of the ball. That doesn't change this year, and I think that with Carlisle leading the way there at that all important quarterback position, they've got to be the favorites coming into 2024.
Yeah, and they actually got a stellar DB coming back, Bryson Weber as well. But
Yep.
the funny thing is, last year we talked about we did the same podcast last year. We talked about Hightower and how they had so many special athletes. They had Kearney at wide receiver, and they had the running back that's gone up to TCU and quarterback that could get it around. I said, if this is going to be the year, this is going to be the year. It wasn't the year. Now those guys graduated. I mean, they still have Cade Phillips as a cornerback that's pretty good as well. But man, they got some big time athletes, and they couldn't get it done last year. So it's going to be hard for them to get it done this year.
Well, yeah, and I mean, if anybody is going to challenge Ridgepoint, it's going to be Hightower. You look at what happened last season, and yeah, Hightower came up short head to head against Ridgepoint, and Ridgepoint won the district title, whereas Hightower, finished in that second spot. But you could argue that Hightower had the better season overall because once they got to the playoffs, man, they just got rolling. They finished the year 12-2. Another outstanding campaign under Coach Cornelius Anthony, who has really high expectations for his players in this program year after year. Since he's come in, the Hightower has always been a really good football program, but it seems like they've taken it to another level since he's arrived. And yeah, I mean, they're going to have plenty of talent as well. You mentioned Cade Phillips, a really highly touted defensive back there, kind of leading the way as their top player. But yeah, I mean, they've got it's the same kind of thing as like at Ridge Point. They've got talent all over the field. They seem to restock every year with these guys, and those two are really going to be battling it out for the district championship, I believe. And I'm not sure where on the schedule that game lands, but I guarantee you that's going to be for the district title. Based on what we've seen and the caliber of play that these two programs have produced in recent years.
That leaves two more spots left for six more teams. Is any of the other Fort Bend teams kind of catch your fancy here?
Travis is definitely a program that is always kind of in the mix. We'll see what they can do this year. They finished 7-4 last season, so obviously they had an early playoff exit there. But yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how Travis does. I think with George Ranch moving out of the district now, there's opportunity for a lot of these programs to kind of jump up into those 3 or 4 spots, hypothetically here, and so it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to that. Fort Bend Austin is an interesting case because their head coach Trey Herman was recently suspended 5 games by the UIL for breaking eligibility rules, and kind of some stuff, some major oversights that were going on within their athletics program. So it's going to be interesting to see how Austin responds. They went 5-5 last year, so they were solid, right there in the mix, towards the bottom of trying to get into the playoffs. And So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to some of that adversity, quite frankly. And but yeah, I like Travis. I like their chance. Just what they've done year after year. They always seem to kind of be in the mix there, and so I like their chances to jump up and get into the playoffs.
Yeah, sometimes we always see some speedsters out of Bush, but it's usually the in the trenches where they kind of struggle. So we'll have to see who these other two teams are. But like you said, we'll figure out when Ridge Point and Hightower is, and we'll circle that on the calendar, and we'll sit in the stands together and eat popcorn like the true buddies we are, John. We'll be there for that one.
All right, sounds good.
Well, I appreciate it. We're moving on to 22-6A next week.
Perfect.